Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Saintsfan here, and welcome to this week's episode of the GTA 5 Q&A. Now, I'm going to be answering only a few questions. However, as you can see from the title, I just want to focus on one in particular point because it's been something that I've been thinking about for a long time, actually, and I never really wanted to make a standalone video on it, but since someone asked the question, I figured this is the perfect time to actually talk about this topic. But if you do want to answer a question for next week's episode, just go on Twitter, use the hashtag @Saints, and I will see your question. Now, Josh, with the first one, do you think we'll get a new race or hyperclass, or hyperclass in the future with even faster cars like F1 styled or IndyCar styled? I mean, it's always a possibility. I don't think we will. I think the classes that are in the game are there for good, because if they made a new class, it would have made more sense to come out with the stunts update, since we have those 3 cars that completely blow every other supercar out the water. But yeah, we might see those cars. I would love to see F1 and IndyCar styled vehicles in the game, but I don't think there'll be new classes. Stone with the next one. Do you think that Rockstar will make us pay real money for DLCs after they are done being free? Well, it's a possibility, especially if it's their last big DLC, and by big DLC, if there is a map expansion, just a map expansion in general. I think there's going to be a cost for that, just because one, the amount of time and work they'd have to put into that to make it actually happen, and then just two, the scale of that. I mean, and considering, and yeah, I guess there's the debate, is GTA Online really free if all the prices are super outrageous? But considering they've given us so many DLCs that are technically free, I wouldn't mind paying for, one final or 2 DLCs, especially if they do have a map expansion. Cody with the next one. Do you ever miss the 2013/14 version of GTA Online? And this ties in perfectly with the next question, the question that the title has to deal with. Has GTA 5 become too military oriented, or do you think it's perfect as it is? Now, answering the first question, do I ever miss 2013 and 2014? Well, I do, but it's the way every game works. The reason I missed that part, or the reason I loved 2013 and 14 in GTA Online so much, is just because everyone didn't have everything. It was a new experience, so the newness factor was there, but everyone didn't have all the weapons. There was no sticky bomb, or there was no, not sticky bombs, proximity launcher mines or homing launchers. There was nothing like that. There were not many military grade vehicles like the Insurgent, like the Kuruma. There weren't as many crazy guns in the game. A lot of the guns weren't that good. And overall, if some dude was in a tank, dude, that was a freaking intense scenario, because you're holy shit, how am I supposed to kill a tank? And if somebody stole a jet, that was another intense scenario, because oh my god, what am I supposed to do against a jet? So I missed that part of 2013 and 14 of online, but again, that's just to be expected. That stuff's not going to last forever, just because people are going to rank up, people are going to get all the new stuff, unlock everything. And that's just how a game cycle goes. But answering the next question, has GTA become too military oriented? This also plays into that factor of missing the 2013 and 14 version, because back then, I was just saying, they didn't have all this military stuff. They didn't have the homing launcher. They didn't have all these insane armored vehicles. They didn't have all these high-tech, not even high-tech. They didn't have all these super good assault rifles and guns and launchers. And ultimately, I'll say yes, GTA has become too military oriented. However, and this is a big however, it's not, I don't want to say it's not Rockstar's fault, because I guess it is, but they've tried to make it less military oriented, and you can see that in Benny's, right? You can see that in the stunts update. You can see that in this next one that's coming with the bikers update. The problem, and this is the one big problem, and why many people believe GTA 5 is too military oriented, and that's because the balancing is just not good. And that's why I guess it ultimately does rely back on Rockstar, even though they're trying their best to make it so where there's other things for people to do if they don't like military stuff. But in a free roam, for the most part, you're going to see people driving Insurgents. You're going to see people driving armored Kurumas, using the sticky bomb, or not the sticky bombs, the proximity launcher, or I keep saying that wrong, the homing launchers, the proximity mines. You're going to see all that stuff just because why would you not? That's ultimately that's the problem, because there's hundreds of vehicles and dozens of weapons right in the game, but only a handful of them are ever used because they're the ones that are used are the best. Like, why would people not use the best in a game that does have PvP elements in it? And that's what sucks. And because going back to Rockstar and all the game developers and stuff, it's a waste of resources because, like, look at Benny's now. Now maybe they'll revisit it in the future, but who goes to Benny's anymore? Unless you're getting like a Sultan maybe or a Banshee. Name the last time you've seen a lowrider. They were cool at the time, but ultimately in free roam, why would somebody use a lowrider that's slower than an armored vehicle and that doesn't have armor like an armored vehicle? Like, it gives them, there's no reason, I guess, except for just literally showing off your car. But if you're going to get blown up, well, then why would you do that? So, like, the problem lies in that there's no pros and cons to the vehicles and the guns in the game. Like, what's a con to the homing launcher? It has 5 bullets. Well, you can easily go into your interaction menu and not bullets, whatever. You know what I mean? Missiles. But you can easily go into your interaction menu and buy more. Same for the proximity mines. All of the weapons, you can just buy more in your inventory. So, like, it's not even that big of a deal. The cons to the armored insurgent or armored Kuruma, you can't throw a sticky bomb out. Well, it doesn't matter if no one can shoot you. I mean, I guess, yeah, people can blow you up, but then they have to pay for the 20,000 or whatever it is to get your vehicle back, the insurance. So, like, there's the pros and the cons. It's just not balanced. That's I think the ultimate problem with GT Online and the militarization of all the stuff in the game. And it's just another thing is that you got to remember, like, maybe not everyone watching this wants military stuff, but the vast majority of the people playing GT Online, they're people and their kids or whatever. They're coming from Battlefield. They're coming from Call of Duty, which are military games. So appealing to that audience, that's definitely something Rockstar would do because that's such a huge audience. Why do you think we keep seeing so many military outfits on Fashion Friday? Just because there's an audience out there for it. And you could see that when, like, going back a year or two ago when we had the first sort of batch of DLCs, right? There was the High Life and Hipster update where they added a bunch of cars, none of it military related, and people were like, dude, we want some more military clothing. We want some more military, vehicles and hardware. And then the Flight School and the Heist update come out, which included a bunch of military stuff, and people then complained about having too much military stuff. So, like, it's, at the end of the day, there's a lot of groups, subgroups in GT Online that like certain things, but it just, like I said, it ultimately comes back down to the balancing issue. And why would somebody use not an insurgent? Why would they use a lowrider? Or why would they use, I mean, I guess the stunt vehicles, at least you're fast and, you can get away from people really quick, but you can't do that in lowriders. You can't do that. I mean, hopefully the bikers have some unique feature to them so people could do that, because if you're in a slow bike, you can't get away from people, and plus you're easier to get shot at and killed. So I think that's sort of the problem with the militarization in GTA Online. Like, if we go back to San Andreas, now I didn't play it much, but in San Andreas, there was Hydras. I mean, I think they even had, like, carpet bombing capabilities. They had the Apache helicopters, tanks, Humvees, night vision, thermal vision. They had, like, all this military stuff. But what offset it was the sort of low-grade weaponry, the gang stuff, the chainsaws, the cleavers, other small firearms. Like, they had stuff in that game to balance out the military stuff. Now, and it's kind of comparing apples to oranges, because San Andreas was single player, GTA Online obviously is multiplayer, and, even if Rockstar were to add chainsaws, cleavers, whatever, in online, the military stuff would still be overpowered, just because, going back for like the 4th time, it's just not balanced properly. So hopefully in like GTA Online 2 or whatever, they sort of see that and understand and find a way to balance it. And honestly, maybe you guys in the comments can come up with something, because I really can't think of anything that could properly balance the military stuff in the game, because you want it to be good, obviously, but then you also don't want it to be so overpowering where everyone uses it. And unfortunately, that's kind of where GTA Online is at the moment. Every military vehicle, for the most part, is just so good that they don't give you a reason Rockstar doesn't give you a reason to actually go out and use some of these other vehicles. But that is it with the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Question of the day, has GTA Online become too military oriented? And like, has the militarization of GTA Online sort of ruined it for you? I'll be interested to hear your thoughts in the comments. But see you in the next one. Drop a like if you did enjoy. As always, though, it's your boy Saintsfan. I'm out. Peace.